Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Have you ever wondered what life would be like if you didn't have to worry about making ends meet? What if there was a way for everyone to get a guaranteed sum of money each month, enough to cover all the basics? Well, that's what we're talking about today. Universal Basic Income, or UBI for short. UBI is a pretty bold idea that's been catching a lot of attention, especially across Asia. From the bustling streets of Tokyo to the serene landscapes of rural India, nations are looking into how UBI could not only reduce poverty but also help bridge the massive economic gaps that exist. Today, we're diving into some real-life examples from Asia to see the impact UBI could have on millions. Let's start with South Korea. Over in Gyeonggi Province, which wraps around Seoul, they've been experimenting with UBI since 2016. They have this youth dividend program that gives every 24-year-old a quarterly stipend to help them as they step into adulthood, whether that's entering the workforce or continuing education. And when the COVID-19 pandemic hit, they even handed out disaster relief payments to all residents, sparking further discussion on the broader adoption of UBI. Moving over to India, there have been some interesting pilot projects and lots of discussions. In Madhya Pradesh, a pilot run by UNICEF and the Self-Employed Women's Association gave thousands of villagers monthly payments. The results? Improvements in health, education, and economic stability. While there isn't a nationwide UBI yet, it's a hot topic, especially as automation and digitization continue to reshape the economy. Then there's Japan, where most of the UBI talk has been in academic circles and advocacy groups, but with an aging population and a shrinking workforce, there's growing interest in UBI as a possible way to alleviate poverty and boost economic activity. There have even been some local experiments proposed to see how UBI could work differently in rural versus urban settings. These examples from Asia reflect a broader global interest in UBI as a tool to tackle economic inequality and the disruptions caused by technological advances. Each case provides valuable insights into the challenges and benefits of UBI in different economic, cultural, and political contexts. These well-documented and analyzed programs offer crucial data for other countries thinking about similar initiatives. So what do you all think? Could UBI really be the key to a new way of life where everyone has the freedom to chase their dreams without the fear of financial ruin? But wait a minute, what about Western and European countries? It's quite exciting because these regions have been really active in exploring UBI as a potential solution to a bunch of modern challenges like economic disparities, technological changes, and social welfare reform. So let's dive right in and check out some of these experiments. First up, Finland. Back in 2017 and 2018, Finland ran a pretty famous UBI experiment. They selected 2,000 unemployed citizens and gave them EUR 560 every month for 2 years, no strings attached. The goal was to see if UBI would change employment levels and overall well-being. Interestingly, while it didn't significantly boost employment, it did improve people's well-being, reduced stress levels, and boosted trust in social institutions. Pretty cool, right? Next, let's talk about Spain. In response to the tough economic times brought on by the COVID-19 pandemic, Spain rolled out what they called the Ingreso Mínimo Vital in 2020. This program was designed to help over 2.3 million people living in extreme poverty by providing a guaranteed income to ensure they could at least meet basic living standards. Though it's not a pure UBI, it's a significant move towards providing universal income support. And then there's Germany. In August 2020, Germany kicked off a 3-year UBI pilot funded by donations and spearheaded by the German Institute for Economic Research. This study involved 120 participants who receive EUR 200 each month. Researchers are comparing their experiences to another group who aren't receiving payments to see how UBI impacts work habits, health, and social behavior. These examples from Europe really show the variety of approaches being tested, from full-on UBI to more conditional income support systems. Each experiment reflects different strategies tailored to their specific national and local conditions, social policies, and political climates. The outcomes of these trials are super important as they provide valuable data and insights that policymakers and researchers around the world are watching closely. They help fuel the ongoing debate over how feasible and impactful UBI could be. And we can now understand the conditions that are needed if UBI is to work in your country. What does it really take to make UBI work for a country? We've got a lot to cover, so let's get into it. When thinking about introducing UBI, there are a bunch of important things to consider, spanning economic, social, political, and technological aspects. Let's break these down a bit. Economically speaking, the first thing to figure out is how to pay for it. Where does the money come from? Options might include taxes, like income or wealth taxes, maybe a carbon tax, or using dividends from natural resources. Another big economic question is how UBI might affect things like the job market, spending habits, inflation, and overall economic growth. Also, how much money should people actually get? It needs to be enough to live on without discouraging people from working if they want to. Socially, we need to think about what we're trying to achieve with UBI. Are we looking to cut down on poverty or inequality? What about improving overall well-being, mental health, or even fostering community involvement? All these goals are super important. Politically, it's crucial that there's strong government support for UBI, and not just from one party or just for one election cycle. It's got to last. Also, the government needs to be capable of actually managing such a program, which means having the right technology, staff, and infrastructure in place. Technologically, the focus would be on setting up secure and efficient systems to make regular payments and protect people's data privacy. Now, to ensure the success of a UBI program, there are some key steps to take. Pilot programs are super important. Before going full scale, it's wise to test UBI in different areas and see how it works and what might need tweaking. The policy design should be adaptive and responsive. This means being ready to make changes based on what we learn from those pilot programs or as economic conditions change. Continuous monitoring and evaluation is crucial. You've got to keep an eye on how things are going and be ready to improve things along the way. And finally, it's vital to involve everyone, from economists and community leaders to the general public, in both the planning and ongoing evaluation of UBI. By tackling these considerations carefully, a country can really increase its chances of making UBI a sustainable, effective, and beneficial program. Okay, so we have a much clearer idea of what makes UBI work and the conditions needed for its success. But maybe we don't fully understand how UBI helps people and governments at the same time, and I think we need to explain in simpler terms. Let's break down how Universal Basic Income, UBI, can potentially benefit both individuals and governments in straightforward terms. Starting off with how UBI helps individuals, imagine getting a set amount of money regularly, no matter what. Whether you're working or not, this money is there to cover your basic needs like food, housing, and healthcare. This kind of financial security can really reduce stress and poverty. But that's not all. Having this safety net could also mean more freedom in your job choices. You could potentially pursue a career you're passionate about without worrying about making ends meet. It could also give you the chance to spend more time learning new skills, volunteering, or even starting your own business. And there's a health bonus too. With less financial worries, people generally experience less stress and better overall health. They can afford better food and healthcare, which just improves quality of life. Plus, if everyone has this guaranteed income, it means workers can demand fair treatment and pay since they aren't desperate to stick with a bad job just to pay the bills. Now, how about the benefits for governments? Well, UBI could really simplify how welfare systems operate. Instead of juggling multiple programs with tons of paperwork and eligibility rules, there's just one straightforward system. This cuts down on administrative costs and helps avoid situations where people who need help get lost in the bureaucracy. Economically speaking, when people have money to spend, it boosts demand for goods and services, which can stimulate the economy. This means more jobs and potentially more tax revenue from successful businesses. It's a win-win. Socially, UBI can help make societies more stable and cohesive. Reducing extreme poverty and economic inequality can lead to less social tension and safer, more harmonious communities. Also, as jobs change due to automation and new technologies, UBI could provide people the flexibility they need to switch careers or industries without the fear of financial disaster. Lastly, with the financial security UBI provides, more people might feel confident enough to take risks on innovative ideas or start new businesses, which could lead to breakthroughs and economic growth. So, in a nutshell, UBI acts like a big safety net, catching everyone and ensuring no one is left without basic financial security. For governments, it's like making an investment in a healthier, more dynamic society. It simplifies how support is provided and can lead to a more active economy and reduced welfare costs. That's it, friends, and if you have made this far, please like and subscribe to this channel, as it really helps out from the algorithm point of view. But one last thing, tell me something I'm dying to know in the comments. Which country are you from, and how would you feel if your country implemented universal basic income? Would it be the best blessing at just the right time, or would you use your savings to immediately go on a holiday? What would you do? Please tell us in the comments, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, peace out.